Shit, alright guys, so welcome back. And so yeah, this will be the final part to EO story. You should be seeing a timestamp on the screen right now if you want to go to that real quick. Because I just gotta mention a few things real quick. It's not gonna take that long, but yeah, if you want to, just skip right ahead so you can get straight into the rest of the story. But the first thing I do want to mention real quick, again, I'm actually really close to 1,200 subs, so hey man, if you could help me out, I'd really appreciate that. I think I'm like 4 inches away. Oh, I'm sorry, 4 subs away. But yeah, man, I would really appreciate a like, a comment, just say nut or whatever you want to say, man. I'd really appreciate it. Even a dislike would help out. And subscribe, man, because that's definitely what I need more of. Definitely more engagement. But yeah, so like I said, this time we're going to be doing the final part of EO story. And man, let's just get straight right back into it. Story.
Oh, I'm here to like.
Okay, so the last part we left on was actually the comic for Summer Song, or the novel. So yeah, so this time we're going to be going straight into Forgotten Notes. And I do feel like these last ones are going to be a bit longer than usual. Alright, so here we go, Chapter 7. The fruit from the blue plant became blighted overnight. All of its life fell away into silence in an instant, turning into a lifeless white statue. What could have caused such a drastic change? After a few sleepless nights, I could only attribute its sudden death to the source. Tetha once told me about the genetic modification experiments they were running in the BIOS labs. Gene mods were nothing new, but their usage of source energy was. They had harnessed it to support their experiments in ways even Tetho didn't understand. Tetho seemed intrigued by their research, but I was more theoretically minded, and disregarded it as biologists playing with animals and plants. Come to think of it, Tetha would have been far more advanced tech as a member of the Oculis Principi, but she was still drawn in by what they were doing in the biolabs. It might have been connected to her work with the Awakeners. Living things that rely on the source to survive? How am I different from this plant? If I can get a better grasp on the laws that govern this biological process, maybe find the researcher responsible for this experimental plant, I may be able to find out more about Awakeners and the relationship with the source. I got it. The person responsible for this report is a researcher named Liv. Is it Liv Strider? Or Strider? The voice actress. I don't remember her name among those lost in the Vossas incident. Maybe she'll have more ideas or clues for me. Okay, so next up, Dr. Liv's research notes. Alright, January 9th. There's been movement in source energy field research at the ARC. Other teams have made staggering progress in the reliable creation of the high energy source fields. This breakthrough now allows our team to test a theory we developed 2 years ago. This pace of discovery has far exceeded my expectations. We knew long ago that the source can alter the DNA of living things, but technical limitations have restricted our experimentation. Those limitations, however, are now obsolete. The successful creation of high-energy source fields marks a giant leap in our technological capabilities. If my predictions are correct, we may soon see life in profoundly different forms, and maybe even the possibility of human evolution. Stage 1, Experiment 4. I don't even know if this counts as a failure. All of the life forms we place into high-energy source fields experience rapid degeneration and death. Their genetic sequence completely destroyed by the source. Our team envisioned a lot of outcomes, but reality has exceeded every single one of them. As for the matter at hand, I could almost say I have no idea. The impacts the source has on life is beyond humanity's wildest dreams. How can we come to harness such a power? Truth be told, I don't have much hope. With regard to the source and Alternum research, we're a little more than babies learning our first steps. We've barely seen the tip of the... Sorry, I was about to say penis. Of the iceberg. Only by diving in can we find our true limits as a species. Stage 1, Experiment 7. Son of a bitch. Okay, I know I just have way too much of a dirty mind. I was about to say semen. Specimen 179 finally yielded some progress. The plant displayed exponential growth the moment the field was activated. Its branches filled the entire lab and almost broke through the walls. Fortunately, the period of growth lasted only 1 minute and 30 seconds, followed by an equally rapid withering. It was crammed all of its life into that minute and a half. A biopsy of specimen 179 revealed evidence of source modification throughout its cellular structure. including its genetic sequence, we have no way of determining why these changes occurred. But this success, such as it is at least proof that our efforts aren't in vain. Stage 1, Experiment 20. 1 year it took us that long to successfully prolong a specimen's life. A high energy field powered by a minuscule amount of the source made it possible to rewrite our specimen's genetic data in a controllable environment. Through the rewriting itself yielded nothing spectacular. We were unable to use more traditional methods of crossbreeding to cultivate its offspring. The subjects of our future studies, something worth mentioning, we discovered through trial and error that the more the source changes a life form, the shorter its lifespan becomes. This pattern applies to their offspring as well, with no clear implications as to why. Our next goal is to strike a balance between change and longevity, and discover the secrets of evolution that lie within. Dude, that's actually pretty fucking crazy, damn. Even the offspring gets fucking affected? That's actually pretty brutal, holy shit. Alright, so stage 1, Experiment 23. We had a welcome surprise yesterday that sliced through our bottleneck like a hot knife through butter. After a full day of tests, my assistant didn't sanitize the lab equipment thoroughly and forgot to turn off the source field retainer. These two conditions gave rise to an unexpected development. A plant seed that was immersed in this environment for a prolonged period of time produced the result we were looking for. At first we didn't think there was anything special with the seed, but our routine biopsy revealed a genetic structure entirely rewritten by the source. Yet its vital properties remained steadfast. We recompiled the relevant data and replicated the experiment's conditions, in the hopes of recreating this miracle tonight. Stage 1, Experiment 24. We successfully recreated the experiment a few nights ago. Specimen 2940, having undergone a top-to-bottom rewrite of its genetic code by source energy, showed no signs of immediate degeneration like all of its predecessors. Instead, it began to sprout, right in the middle of the source field. Today was the day we've been longing for, a day worth celebrating indeed. The survival of specimen 2940 heralds a new stage in our research. The team can hardly wait. It may be early days yet, but the director is planning a small celebratory dinner tomorrow. Maybe it'll relax us enough to let out the breath we've been holding in for so long. Stage 2, Experiment 1. Before we could even determine the factors that led to specimen 2940's success, its condition began rapidly deteriorating in a way we've never seen before. It started with a white mark near the stem, then a white leaf. In the end, this white mark spread upwards via the specimen stem structure, consuming the entire plant. We believe specimen 2940 to be deceased, but in a way that is unprecedented in the biological world. The entire plant has become a brittle white sculpture, crumbling at it the slightest touch. As it collapsed into a pile of white ash, our hopes were extinguished with it. We've been beaten back to square one, with not even an inkling of the change we just witnessed. I cannot accept this. We must have missed something. Tonight I'll review all the research logs in the hopes of finding some sort of clue. Stage 2, Experiment 2. A friend from a neighboring division told me that they are looking into the white powder that clings to the surface of Eternum, which led to an epiphany. Maybe the answer we've been looking for has been right in front of our eyes the entire time. By comparative analysis, we discovered the following. The white powder on the surface of Eternum and the white ash left over from specimen 2094 or 2940 are the same substance: the source, the Eternums, and life itself. These three things are inextricably linked. I can't pronounce the word, sorry. For too long, we've been blind to the facts. And now with the same white substance growing on the stem of specimen 2941, I have a feeling that the source is the key to solving the riddle. Stage 2, Experiment 4. My prediction was correct. Only 3 days in a source-rich environment and specimen 2941 shedding its white mark like a scab from a wound. A new branch even grew from the scar where the mark once was. And the entire plant stands straighter than we've ever seen before, practically radiating vitality. This means plants that have undergone source modification gain the ability to absorb source energy, a blessing and a curse. Because these plants can then only survive in source-rich environments, taken away from their source, their vitality quickly withers away, crumbling into white ash. Not only is the team curious about the principles driving these fascinating changes, we also wonder, what if we could transfer this trait to other life forms? This is the question we shall dedicate ourselves to answering, and we can hardly wait. Okay, so these motherfuckers want to start fucking with monkeys and shit. Oh, hell no. It's like, yo, hold up, bitch, hold up. Alright, then here's the blighted blue plant fruit. The fruit of an unnamed blue plant that grows in the pale blight, a product of the Ark's experiments. It rapidly became blighted shortly after leaving the arena. Its fate caught up to it, but who's next? Damn, shit. Those are fucking plants to people. Shit. Alright, so next up we got The Final Gift, Chapter 8. I figured out Dr. Liv's whereabouts. A mysterious benefactor became interested in her research, going so far as to build her a brand new lab, purpose-built for her needs. I tracked down the coordinates of the lab and set off immediately. I hit a dead end the moment I got there. The local maps made no mention of Dr. Liv's lab, and the inhabitants nearby had never heard of any secret laboratory. Just as I was about to give up, something jumped out at me. A familiar marking tucked into the corner of a wall. It was barely noticeable, only significant to someone who had dealings with the Oculus Principi. I knew it was no coincidence. I took a closer look at the markings and environs, and eventually discovered the secret lab. The lab was crawling with guards, backed up defense systems designed to ward off intruders. They were no match for a battle-hardened awakener. I snuck my way into the lab and started poring over the research data. The more I read, however, the more of a sense of dread settled in my stomach. I found Liv's lab, alright, but Liv was no mere arc scientist with a wealthy backer. She was a ruminator of the Orbis Cognito. Cognitio. Ruminator, members of the Oculus Principi who specialize in scientific research. Okay, so damn, these people got their own fucking researchers, okay. Yeah, working out of a top secret lab. Every ounce of reason I had screamed at me to leave before I was discovered. But I could not look away, because among those documents, I saw Teto's name. To my knowledge, the Oculus Principi was divided into 4 orbis. The Orbis Profundus, Orbis Militarum, which I'm guessing is military. Let's see. Yeah, it maintains the security and stability of the Oculus Principi with absolute military power. Orbis Obscura, which is the eyes and ears of the Oculus Principi. They control the organization's intelligence apparatus and scours the globe for potential awakeners. Okay, so like recruiters and shit. And Orbis Cognitio, a titan of technology and manufacturing. They provide the Oculus Principi with a continuous flow of cutting-edge technology. Okay, so they're just super fucking nerds. Cool. According to the report's timestamps, Teto was a ruminator subordinate to the Orbis Cognitio. Before she met me, why did she become a watcher for the Orbis Obscura? Tasked to observe me? The layers of this mystery separated into their true complexity before my eyes. This went far deeper than I imagined. I took the file on Teto and prepared to leave, but I'd been careless. Lost in thought for far too long, the guards found me. I tried to lose them, but they knew the lab far better than I did. As the guards closed in on me, a woman suddenly appeared and escorted me outright, under their noses. I recognized her immediately as the woman I'd come here for. Liv. Liv did not say a word to me, but her actions made her intentions clear. She left those clues for me, like a trail of breadcrumbs. Once I was safely out of the lab, I read the file I'd smuggled out from the top to bottom. As I reached the end of the last page, I saw a note, written in the hand I had come to know so well over the years. Go to the observatory. There you will find my final gift. Teto. Damn. Alright, so next up we got Sealed Letter, Chapter 9. The Ark sat on Vasta's outskirts, away from the lights. On a clear night, you'd see a sky full of stars. I used to take walks with Teto, take a break from the numbers. Whenever I looked up at the sky, all of my troubles would feel so small, like specks of stardust among the grandeur of the universe. Teto's the only person who could spin me in circles like this, and she's done it twice now. All this time I've been following the trajectory she laid out for me, led by the nose like a donkey. She knew I wouldn't give up searching for her. That's why she kept that encrypted file. It was the only way she could reveal to me who she really was. She even anticipated my interest in the connection between the source and living things. She led me to Dr. Liv, so I dig deeper into the Oculus Principi. A gift? More like a final declaration of victory. Whatever, I've gotten this far. Let's see what kind of gift she's got in store for me. Oh shit. A letter to Eos. Dear Eos, if you're reading this means you become an awakener and that I failed. I'm sorry for lying to you. Everything you knew about me, including who I am and why I approached you, were all predetermined lies. Since you're holding this gift in your hands, you already know part of the truth, as well as the real reason why I got close to you. It's true. The Principi tasked me to be your watcher, It's time for me to tell you everything. I can finally put the guilt in my heart to rest now that I'm able to write to you as who I really am. I know you probably still have some questions, so please allow me to answer them as your friend. One last time. Watchers belong to a group called the Orbis Obscura, which is part of the Oculus Principi. Our mission is to get close to potential awakeners like you. We integrate ourselves into your lives in order to monitor you. If the data we gather meets our expectations, an order will be issued for you to be taken back to the Principi to turn you into an awakener. You must be dying to know why you. What are the criteria for being awakeners? And what sort of data is enough in order to truly be selected? All of these questions can be answered in one word: Gensync. I'm sure they've already told you about the Gensphere's ability to unlock human evolution, but it is not an ability available to just any human. Each Gensphere chooses its own master, in a phenomenon we call synchronicity. You were the lucky one chosen by your Gensphere. At first I performed my duty. I got close to you to observe and monitor you. What happened next was out of my own expectations. I feel sentimental even writing it, but it's the truth. The persistence with which you pursued the truth touched me, reigniting a passion for science that I had long forgotten. I began to look forward to the results of our research. I began to believe that what we were doing could eventually change the world. The moment I realized that, I made up my mind. Instead of your watcher, I would be your protector, safeguarding your peaceful life and wiping away all Triculus Principi's meddling. And then, when you are truly safe, I would leave you to live a life that was truly yours. The only way I could do that was to convince the organization that you were no longer a good fit as an awakener. I tinkered with the surveillance equipment and doctored your biometric data. I also had to sabotage our experiment in order to cover my tracks. Because of that failure, the Dictator suspended you, plunging you under the radar of the Watchers and minimizing the chance of you being recorded again. Hey man, I'm really sorry I put our research at stake. I wouldn't have done it if there wasn't any other way to change your fate. I have faith in your abilities. I'm sure that even without help, you will be able to finish the research we started together. So please, forgive me for my recklessness just this once. But it's too late now. Your reading this letter means you've become an awakener, rendering everything I did was for nothing. The road ahead is yours to walk, alone. I want nothing more to stay by your side, but I don't know if I still have that right. And there are other things that I must do for your sake as well as my own. Though I've recorded all my thoughts and knowledge in this letter, I know you won't let it go. That's just who you are. You have a desire to know that's deep in your bones. That's why, in addition to this letter, I'm leaving you one last gift. You might have already seen it, but enclosed in this letter is a keycard with an address to my laboratory. I left behind most of my research materials and lab equipment, which I'm sure you'll enjoy. I hope that you can find new inspiration while you're there to motivate you in your search for the truth. I know that your eyes always look forward to the future, something that we will never know together. Keep being you and don't look back. Like a light that slows for nothing. I'll be watching you from the other side of infinity. Until the day we meet again, your homie, Tetho. Damn. Am I crying or what? Oh shit. Okay, so next up is the Celestial Model. A birthday present that Tetho prepared for Eos. Appears to be a simple celestial model with an embedded mechanism that causes disintegration when struck by a high energy source beam. Happy birthday to you. Okay, one thing I will say about this model too, which is a good thing because this is a good thing no one was really bothering me, but usually when you go to the Ark Laboratory, not very many people land to you, and I'm talking gameplay wise, but you do need to use your ultimate to actually bust this thing open and get the item inside, so if you're paying attention to that, man, yeah, just make sure if you're going to do this part, you have your ultimate ready because you're going to need that. If not, just run around for a few minutes until that bitch charges up right back to 100%. Oh, shit. All right, Tetho's keycard. After we part ways, we walk together still. A keycard from Tetho. To aid in her search for the truth, she gifted Eos her former lab, a door that's open for you. All right, and now the last part. We will meet again. Chapter 10. Tetho did all of this for me, sabotaging my experiment, getting me suspended. It was all to protect me. If her plan had worked, I would never have become an awakener, and this letter would have been lost forever. But if it failed, and I became an awakener despite everything she had done, she knew I wouldn't give up finding the truth. That's why she left me these clues to lead me to her. She knows me so well. Fortunately, now I know her too, the real her. She may not be by my side, but she's still trying to tell me that the Oculus Principi is not as united as they seem. They are hiding the truth from us, only telling us the parts that have been cleansed and sanitized. There is only one way to find the truth. I have to leap headfirst into a maelstrom of lies. I have to find a way to get into the core of the Oculus Principi. With my talents, the Orbis Cognitio will be my best way in. It's been a long road, but now I'm here, at the lab Teto has prepared for me. It's a bit smaller than Liv's lab, but it has everything I need. I'm starting from scratch, but I know what I'm looking for. Teto, one day I'll see you again. Damn. Okay, so maybe Teto is dead. Shit. But I mean, yeah, it was kind of, I would say it was a little predictable. I mean, like I said, her friend was acting strange, like especially from the second episode that I did, the last video before this one. She did mention that, yeah, like Teto was acting a little weird. Like she even mentioned, like, man, or it was just a form of expressionism, but just like, oh yeah, every fucking syllable basically was a lie and shit. So, or every other syllable was a lie. But I mean, granted, I mean, she was trying to protect her as a friend. Like at first, just being like, you know what, I just got a mission to do this. But in the end, yeah, Huxley was basically telling the truth. Just whether she lives or die after that is pretty much all up to her. But yeah, I mean, at the end, she really was a friend. Just she couldn't really say much without getting in trouble, or really getting them both in trouble. Because yeah, that would have fucked them up pretty badly. But I mean, overall, man, I think it was an okay story. I mean, it certainly is pretty cool how it gives detail into the way life forms work in the Pale Blight. I do like that. Because one thing I'm appreciating is a little bit of the world building they're doing. And I do like the fact that it also integrates into the gameplay itself. I do like that. However, compared to Sorween, I really do like Sorween's a lot more better. Like, Sorween's story and the world building for that one is fucking amazing. But Io's story, it's okay, man. It like I said, just gives you a little more information about who she is. Again, I really was not expecting her to be a scientist. Like, I don't know. I thought she'd just be like some kind of like just some bratty bitch for some reason. But I guess because she has like the tsundere shit. Kind of, but yeah, so that kind of threw me off, but hey, we know she's one smart cookie, so hey, there you go, man. But overall with this, man, yeah, I would definitely say it's not as good as Sorween's, but it's still a good read. One thing I will give it to, at least you don't have to get a dub to unlock the full story, so that I did appreciate. Cause I said with Sorween, man, you had to win a fucking trial, and yeah, that took a little while, but it wasn't too bad. I mean, I think I'm okay at the fucking game. But yeah, man, so this was Io's story, hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, I really wanted to break this down to 3 different parts because I really did not want it to be like a whole hour long like fucking Sorween's video. But yeah, so what I'm doing next is going to be going through the other characters, their biography. Unfortunately, the Eos and Sorween are the only ones we have story for, but we do get a little bit of information from the other characters. Again, I did read Camille's, and I really do like that one, so I'm really excited to reread that one. So fuck yeah. Granted, I'm probably going to start with the characters I'm not really too interested in and then work my way up. That one also, unfortunately, it might be 3 separate videos because I do know those biographies are kind of long. But if I can, I'll try to fit 4 and 4, 4 into each episode because there's 8 other characters that I got to cover. But, man, just to reiterate, like the video, say nothing in the comments, and subscribe. Other than that, man, hey, thanks for watching. Nut.